Well, Matt, not the result we'd have expected, and possibly not the performance we might have hoped for either.
No. It's a disappointing change room, obviously. Weren't great. We didn't really do enough. I'm not saying it was them, but we didn't really do enough going forward. We didn't create enough chances. Obviously, Ings has got his goal at the end, but we didn't really do enough there. Them coming on to us, I think there was all there's a little bit smarter than us today. We've been talking about it now, and I think there's a little bit smarter than us. Just all around the pitch, like the way they play on the ref, the way they sort of just their game management, maybe the way they played the game, they were smarter, and I think that was the main thing today.
Yeah, you mentioned the way they play the ref, but I've seen a lot worse teams than them for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's the ref's reason we've lost, because at the end of the day we haven't turned up here today. That is the bottom line of it. But I think just all in all, I think they played the game as you say better than us, because in terms of playing football and on the eye and everything else, they were no better than us. But they played the game, this game today, a lot better than us. Fair play to them. That's what they've done. They've turned up and they've won fair and square. But I think for us, we've got to learn from it, because I think we've had little games like this in the past where we need to be smarter. We need to manage the game more. We need to recognise what sort of game it is more and adapt to it, sort of thing, because we obviously like to play, we like to look good, everything else, but when there's a game like today where it is okay, so you've got to win your 1v1 battles, or they're going to be up top and they're going to be sort of in your face, or whatever it may be, we need to adapt a little bit more and not always just try and sort of I keep going over it, but today's a day where we needed to adapt and we didn't, basically.
Right. And there were passages, especially in the second half, where we were getting the passing going, but it was all a bit sideways, and then when the ball was played forward, it seemed to me to inevitably go straight to one of their players.
Yeah, well, I think in the first half we went back to front a little bit, maybe too much. We had the wind in our faces and all that, which made it obviously a little bit more difficult, but that ain't an excuse at all. And then in the second half we made a sort of deliberate effort to try and play a bit more, because it's a good pitch to play on and there was spaces to play in. And I think just we didn't have enough variation with it. I mean, we'd go one way and it'd be maybe cornered off, and we'd try and force that pass in there and it'd break down or whatever. And that's just where I'm saying we need to be a bit smarter, maybe, because we can't be one-dimensional all the time. And if it ain't sort of happening in the way that we sort of need to on the pitch, we need to game manage on the pitch and think, right, if it ain't happening for us doing it this way, we need to switch on to this way. But with that being said, also, it's just sort of key sort of moments. Obviously, they've scored from a set piece today, which is one sort of moment, and the second moment is a nothing goal. We've played the ball forward, and I don't know what's happened, but the ball's come back after a sloppy touch, and so they're small moments, but they're moments that sort of matter today. But yeah. First
goal was pretty disappointing from our point of view.
Yeah, because
pretty much uncontested header in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, exactly. And we've been, as I've done an interview a couple of weeks back, I think after the Dover game, in saying that we needed to sort of nail this sort of thing, and we had been. The last couple of weeks, you see that we've been defending well, and even from sort of set pieces and all that, there's a want to go and put our head on the ball. And I think today, obviously, the geezer's got a free run at it and he's scored, and it's just a bit going backward. We've taken sort of 2 steps backward, 2 steps forward, and 1 step backwards with that. But yeah, that's that. But even sort of over it all, we've been talking about in the dressing room after, in sort of terms of competing, I think the want to compete is there, I think, but sometimes we talked about the smartness in competing, because you see them anytime the ball's gone up to their front men. Wince and Rich are dealing with it well, but they're going over, they're trying to buy free kicks, they're sort of, that's what I mean by playing on the ref. There's sort of any moment, anything, there's a little contest. If there's a free kick, they're getting around the ref. Do you know what I mean? Little things like that, where we need to be smarter and we need to take that away, because that's what sort of brought them their sort of thing today. Obviously, they've come from a set piece. I think the original set piece where they put it in for the free kick, put a cross in to win the corner, I think he just brought that free kick over here, and that's what I'm saying. That sets up the chain of events. So that's the biggest thing I think we need to take from it today, being so much smarter and being a bit more aware of the game.
Do you think you're victims of your own success in a way, in that expectations, not only from supporters but also from yourselves, are actually very high?
No, I don't think we're victims of it at all, because at the end of the day, we fully expect to win every single game, regardless of who it's against and what the game is. And I don't think that's being a victim of our success, because that's just the standards we set, end of. That we know that we come out here, we should be able, or we can, beat any team on our day. So, and we expect to turn up every time. So when you don't like today, that's why it's frustrating. And if it was like, oh, but we have been doing well and all this and that, that's not what we want. Every game, if we ain't winning, it's a disappointment.
Yeah.
And it's not carrying that with us, because we'll do the same as when we win a game. We'll take it on, we'll put it to bed, we'll learn from it, and we'll move on. But it's not something that is sort of a victim of our success or thing like that, because that's what we expect.
Sure, okay. But in amongst that, a brief word for Sam Mason, who once again probably didn't expect to play today, and particularly second half made a lot of smart saves.
Yeah, he's been top draw in the last 3 games, honestly. Like, Sam, and he's sort of, what is it, 18-year-old, 17-year-old kid, and he's come in and, do you know what I mean? He's more than held his own. He's like, even the other day against Ebbsfleet, he's kept us in the game today. He's made some blinding saves, and I can hear him talking back there and everything else. And for a 17-year-old, for like how he's come in today, and do you know what I mean? He's one of our better players today. He's one of, if not the.
Yeah.
So,
I'd agree.
There you go. So it sort of shows that, like, the gaffer's willing to give young players a chance, and you can see that anyway. But he's sort of come in, and fair play to him, because he's been absolutely outstanding. And if there's positives to take from today, he's definitely one of them.
Absolutely. And finally, exciting times again next weekend, hopefully. 8-day gap, and then the big match against Peterborough.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, when we're fresh off a game like this, it's disappointing and everything else. But come Monday, or wherever, we'll go in, we'll debrief it, we'll put that to bed, and then it will be on to Peterborough. And it's just like, it's a big game for us. And it's the same sort of thing. Just because we're playing Peterborough, we expect to go out and win. I'm not being funny. We don't care about their league. We just beat Bury away 3-0. So why can't we do the same again? And that's what we'll go in. We'll prep for that. We'll be ready for that, and we'll go and approach that with the intention of winning and going through to the next round. So
excellent. Many thanks for your time.